Hey there, and welcome to today's episode of Fix Your Relationships. I am your host, Dr. Tiff. I want to tell you a few things today. Number one, today's episode, just as pretty much every other episode that I record, I am leaving so much room, for the Holy Spirit, because I just have literally 3 sentences on a sheet of paper that are set there to remind me of what I want to talk about, but I don't have bullets. I don't have points. I don't have nothing. So this is just going to come as a automatic download from the Lord. But here's where, and I don't want to speak for too long today, but I do want to get this out because I wrote this down a few days ago, or I actually wrote it down yesterday, but I've had it on my mind for a few days. I was listening to, oftentimes when I drive, I listen to, especially if I have a long drive, and really when I'm going to work, if I have to work on set somewhere, I will oftentimes, to calm my anxiety, I listen to Joel Osteen. This particular day, I was not going to work. I was actually going to the pet store to get some dog food from a dog, but I happened to be listening to Joel Osteen. The actual episode, I don't know, I can't remember exactly what it was about, because, if you listen to SiriusXM and you listen to Joel Osteen, you know that he is it's just constant, nonstop, and every episode is like right after the other, and it's all sermons, and he's got like 1,000 of them. So you just get in where you fit in. You jump in and you get what the Lord wants you to have. And he said something to me that immediately made me think of one of my clients, and immediately made me think, I have got to share this on the podcast because I believe it will help somebody today. Now, if you are a person that grew up in an environment where your parents maybe fought, or they confused your adult view, your view now about what love is, if you have recognized, we talk quite a bit here about recognizing your own patterns and your own triggers and where things come from. If you're an adult now that recognizes that perhaps some of the things that you have been carrying into your relationships stem from the things that you witnessed, the things that happened to you and around you growing up, the things that were displayed to you by the people that were supposed to teach you all the things in relationship, if that's you, if you have experienced something traumatic from a parent, a mom, a dad, a caretaker, if the way in which they loved you or showed you what love was supposed to be, you've grown to understand that this is not right. This is not what was meant for me. This is not for me. This is not what God wants for me. If that's you, then today's episode is absolutely for you, because I got a word from Joel Osteen, and I'm pretty sure he got it from the Lord. So today's message, I'm just going to talk just very briefly today about something that I have seen a lot in my practice, and I just want to share it with you because I believe that for someone out there, it will absolutely help. So let's get into it today. Hi, I'm Dr. Tiff, your relationship transformation coach. I've spent the past 20 years working with high-achieving women just like you who are crushing it in every area of their lives, everywhere except their relationships. And look, I get it. Finding the one ain't easy, and relationships are hard. But you know what's even harder? Cycling through the bad ones, or worse, staying in relationships when you already know they're not a good fit. You want a relationship of ease, uncomplicated, someone to love you down, but instead you've been suffering through bad dates, sexual incompatibility, and someone who might be good for somebody, but not for you. And if we're really being honest, you know that deep down, the work that really needs to be done starts and ends with you. If you're done wasting time in dead-end relationships and sick of looking for, chasing after, or trying to convince somebody to be the one, and you're ready to become the one, then baby, you're in the right place. So prop your feet and let's clink glasses, because I'm giving you the tea and the tips to fix your relationships. Let's go. All right. Thank you guys so much for all of your kind words and inspiration and just motivation. I don't know if you guys know how much you motivate me to keep going, but you absolutely do. I got a review on the podcast the other day, and I do want to share it with you. And you too can leave a review for the podcast if anything that I say resonates with you, if you enjoy the content, if you're sharing it with people, please, okay? Let the algorithm know, okay, that this is the type of content that you want. And you can do that by reviewing the podcast. Just go to Apple Podcasts, scroll on down, and it says in purple letters, write a review. Write a review. Give us 5 stars, but write a review. This helps people who are looking for this type of content find this type of content. It's not always easy. Yes, they can use keywords and put things in, but sometimes, they're looking for this type of stuff. And if they've been searching relationships or dating or self-sabotage or women's empowerment or anything like that, they are looking for us, okay? They want to be a part of the tribe. And don't we want more good girlfriends like ourselves? Yes, we do. So share your experience with the podcast, the feedback that you have, how it has helped you. Please, please, please share it by writing a review. So someone, I don't even have a name, I don't think, associated with this review. Practical Solutions for PTSD. That was the name that's listed here. And what she says is, what they say is, I love the friendly, open, conversational tone of the podcast. Listening to Dr. Tiff, I really felt like I was sitting down on the front porch with a cup of tea, having a chat with a good friend. And with that friendly approach, she is giving real practical tips to help you build better relationships with those you love. I mean, I can't think of a better review because they are absolutely picking up what I'm laying down. This is exactly what I'm trying to do here, people. It's exactly what I'm trying to do. I want to make sure that you guys feel seen, okay? That you feel like every time that you download an episode, that you feel like you are talking with a good girlfriend. Now, I'm trying to be a good girlfriend, okay? I'm trying my best. To give you that sound advice, to give you the wisdom that I have, that I download every week, that I come to you with every week. And this week is no different. So thank you so much for that kind review. And again, please do consider leaving a review. There are so many ways, okay? So many ways. If you are struggling with your relationship, so many ways in which you can get in touch with me and us and getting the support that you need. Absolutely. Number one is this podcast. I come here every week bearing gifts. And by gifts, I mean a new podcast episode that is free to you with information and insight to help you fix your relationships. The other way that we offer support to you is through our Facebook group, fyrcommunity.com. FYR stands for Fix Your Relationships, okay? So if you go to FYRcommunity.com, you'll be sent right on over to our Facebook page. You can join us there. And guess what? Ask questions. Ask your questions. Obviously, on the podcast, I'm talking about a specific subject each week, but over there, I can answer your questions. I can give you feedback. And by having the dialogue with me there, we're able to answer those questions and potentially answer them over here on the podcast. Because I guarantee you, if you have a question about your relationship, somebody else has that question too. And I want to make sure that we are answering your questions, because that is why I'm here. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm here to do. Here to serve. Okay. So let me serve you. Let me serve you. Okay. Another way that we can work together, that I can help you, is if you sign up for the One Within 30-day reset. The One Within 30-day reset. I have been talking about it nonstop for the past several weeks. If you go to drtiffanyhenry.com/the One Within, you'll be able to find out more about our 30-day reset. It's a guided journaling experience designed to help you call in the love that you desire and deserve, but doing so by focusing all on you. The focus is all on you. You've got 30 days of journal entries. You've got videos every day. So you've got 30 plus videos. You've got bonuses. You have a group coaching call. There's so much. okay, that is available to you. You just have to go out here and get it. All right. So that is the One Within 30-Day Reset. You can listen to previous episodes. The last 4 or 5 episodes I've talked about it. I'm not going to go into it too deep today, but it is there on the website, drtiffanyhenry.com/the one within. If you need it, it's available to you. Now, today I want to talk to you about something that I heard on Joel Osteen radio on Sirius XM the other day. And it was something that totally blessed me in terms of not just me, but something that I was thinking about for a client of mine. It was a word for her, and I had a session coming up with this client, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to share this with her. And I did. I shared it with her earlier today, but I thought also simultaneously, I need to share it with you guys on the podcast because I know that so many of you may need this word as well. Many of the folks, women and men that I work with, are coming to me for help in their relationships. Many of those folks, when we do our histories, when we look back at their relationships, and you guys know this because I've talked to you about this before, I think I take a very detailed history with when I onboard new clients. And one of the things in taking that history, I'm going all the way back. I want to know about each and every relationship you've ever had. And sometimes it's a little overwhelming for folks because they don't realize that I'm digging that deep. And I'm digging that deep because every relationship matters. Every relationship teaches us what we want and what we don't want. Every relationship teaches us about ourselves. Every relationship, we walk into relationship thinking that we want one thing and leave understanding what we want and what we don't want. One of the most important relationships, I'll say that. I want to say the most important relationship, but I'll say one of the most important relationships that teach us about relationships, about love, about loving, about being loved. All of that is our relationship with our parents. Our parents model that for us. They model what love should look like. They model how we should love one another. And so that is, for me, one of the primary relationships I'm going to ask my clients about. I ask them about their relationship with their parents. I also ask them about the relationship that their parents had with one another and what they witnessed, how they fought, how they communicated, how they loved one another. Did they kiss in front of you? Did you know that they loved each other, and how? What did they do to show that? Was it healthy? Did the way in which they loved and supported each other, was that healthy? What did it teach you about your adult relationships? What did you go in to your adult relationships thinking love was? Okay. And a lot of that is based on what was modeled for you, what you saw, and how your parents were. Okay. So as we think about that, I recognize that many of you may not have had the best example. Some of us did. Okay. And hallelujah. Thank God for Jesus. But some folks did not. Some folks grew up in environments where their parents maybe they grew up in a single parent household and they didn't have one parent there, or they felt neglected by a parent, or they felt that one of my parents always put their boyfriend or girlfriend above the kids. That felt like they loved them more than they loved us. Or maybe they showed favoritism, or maybe, they said they loved one another. The parents said they loved one another, but they fought all the time. They argued all the time. They disrespected one another. All of that teaches you about love. And what we tend to find is that as we grow up, our adult relationships tend to want to fix those childhood relationships. As a kid, you can't really do anything. You're kind of powerless in fixing your parents' relationship, no matter what the issue or problem is. But many times we see some of those same patterns repeating themselves in our adult relationships because we have taken on unconsciously our need to fix it. And that's what we're trying to do. The problem with trying to fix that wound as an adult is that you were never taught how to fix it. You were taught how to continue it. You were taught how to continue that same behavior. And so no matter how awful that relationship might have been to witness as a child, or to experience as a child, because that is all you know, because that is your version of what love looks like and is, you find yourself as an adult spinning your wheels, continuing to repeat that same thing. And it's not until you become a little bit more self-aware of your patterns, identifying your patterns, understanding what you're repeating, where it comes from, and how to get out of those patterns. It's not until you figure out some of that stuff that things start to change in your relationships. And as an aside, that is why I created the One Within 30-Day Reset, because I feel like sometimes we need to take a step back and really just focus on ourselves. So often we are focused on our relationships so much, focused on the other person and what that person needs to do and change and how they need to be, that we don't focus on what we're bringing into the relationship. We don't focus on our own patterns, our own triggers, our own bad habits. We don't focus on the things that we should and should not be doing. So that 30-day reset, the One Within 30-Day Reset, is all about focusing on you, forgetting about what anybody else is doing, minding our business, and really focusing on you. And so again, if you have not done so already, go over to drtiffanyhenry.com/the One Within to learn more about the One Within 30-Day Reset and to join us if you wish, if you feel like it's right for you. All right. So back to Joel Osteen, what I heard Joel say. And again, when I got in the car, the episode was halfway through, so I have no idea which episode this was. Somebody will tell me. Okay, one of you guys will tell me. You'll hear it and you'll tell me which one it is, and I can go back and listen to the whole thing in its entirety. But what he said really resonated with me and really resonated with the idea of us feeling as though it's feeling damaged, by our parents, of feeling as though they set us up for failure in terms of our relationship, and feeling as though our parents did not teach us what we needed to know. And in fact, they taught us the wrong way to handle conflict, the wrong way to love one another in relationships, the wrong way to get what we want and need out of a relationship. Maybe they taught you to manipulate a partner in order to get what you need, to lie to a partner in order to get what you needed and wanted. Maybe they told us or showed us that the only way to know that a partner loves you is to push them away. Does that sound familiar? Or to sabotage. Maybe they didn't outright say that, but maybe they showed that in their action. And now you as an adult are walking into your relationships, repeating some of these same patterns. And it's starting to dawn on you. You're starting to see that, wow, this comes from my mom. I'm doing the same thing I said growing up I would never do. My dad used to do this all the time and I hated it. And now look at me in my relationship. I'm doing the same thing. What I want to tell you today is what I heard Joel Osteen say. And I know that this will resonate if this is you, if this is hitting home for you. I need you to hear that you did not come from your parent. You did not come from your parent. You came through your parent, but you came from God. That's the reframe that I want you to take with you as you move toward healing, as you move toward growth, as you move toward transformation in your relationships. We have to stop taking on the trauma, the hurt, the bad habits and patterns and triggers and baggage from our parents, from other people who may have meant well in telling us what we needed to do or showing us what we needed to do in relationship that as an adult you now know is jacked up. They might have meant well. And you might have grown up in that environment. You might have learned that doing those things was what was going to be best for you in relationship. But as an adult, as a free-thinking adult, as someone who knows better now, we can no longer rely on the fact that we came from an environment. And because of where we've come from, in some ways we've kind of acquiesced and embraced that this is who I am. This is what I have to be because of who I come from. And what I'm telling you today is you did not come from that. You came through that, but you did not come from that. This is not what God has for you. You came through it. You did not come from it. You came from Him. Okay? You were in this situation. You were placed in this situation, but you did not come from this situation. Okay? I wanted to give you that today because I need you to reframe how you think about your origin story. This is not where you came from. You came from Almighty God, and He wants you to know that now, today, right now, before we get into 2026, you need to know whose you are. You need to know where you came from, and you need to know where you are going. And it does not have to be where your parents came from, went, are. Okay? That is them. That is their story. It is no longer yours. You need to give that back to them. No matter if you're sitting here listening to this today and you know that what they told you, what they showed you was not right, it was not helpful. It is leading you down a horrible path in your relationships. It is the reason why you have struggled in relationships. I want you to lay it down right now. I want you to say, yes, I did go through that, but that is not my origin story, and that is not where I come from. It is not where I come from. I'm going to leave that with them, and I am going to start a new path. I am going to do something different. I am not doing what they showed me, and I may not know how to do it. That's the biggest hurdle in making changes in our relationships, is the not knowing how. Really, the biggest hurdle in anything is not knowing how. I recognize that in order for us to make changes across the board in our life, sometimes we have to ask for help. We have to do it with others. We have to be in community. And even if not in community, we just have to ask one person. That is why, things like therapy is important. Things like group coaching and things like that is important. Or online communities like the Facebook group or anything like that. That's why that's important, because we tend to, if you are anything like me, and I've told y'all I'm an introvert, I told y'all that I have a challenge asking for help. The way that we grow, the way that we move 10 times faster, the way that we get things done is not solo. It is in community, it is with other people. God has not gifted any one particular person with every gift. He has not. I have one, maybe two. He didn't give me, I've said this before, he didn't give me the gift of singing. He did not, because he knew y'all wouldn't be able to deal with me. Okay. I would be singing every day, all day. You would be so tired. Okay. So he said, no, girl, you ain't getting that one. Okay. He doesn't give us all the gifts. He doesn't give us all the gifts because the way in which we are going to be able to build the kingdom of heaven is for us to rely on each other. And the more that we rely on each other, the greater the kingdom. Think about it this way. I heard this in church one time. If I come to the table, let's say it's, we just had Thanksgiving. If I come to Thanksgiving dinner and this Thanksgiving, I don't have much. The economy is what it is. My wallet is dusty. The checks ain't coming in. I don't have a lot, but I do know I have some yams in my pantry. I have some sweet potatoes in my pantry, and I'm just going to make yams. I'm going to bring the yams. Okay. And my brother says, you know what? I don't have a lot, but I'm going to pick up some King's Hawaiian rolls. Okay. And my mama said, you know what? I don't have a lot, but I do know how to make cornbread and dressing. So I'm going to bring the dressing. And my daddy says, you know what? I'm going to smoke the turkey. I can do that. I can go get a turkey. And my auntie says, you know what? I don't have a lot, but I can bring the macaroni and cheese, and so on and so on. And when everybody contributes what they can, what they're gifted at, we have an amazing meal for everybody. Okay. That's the same thing that God is having us do as we grow and build his kingdom. Right. And so no matter what the issue is, what the problem is, what the challenge that you have is, if you are unable to figure that thing out for yourself, guess what? It's because you are supposed to rely on someone else who is gifted in the thing that you need. Okay? So I say all that to say, if relationships are tough for you, if you don't know how to get out of the pattern and the habit that you gathered from a parent, if you don't hear nothing else I say, ask for help. Get the help you need, whether that is from a relationship coach, whether that is from a therapist, whether that is from a psychiatrist, whether it's from a group coaching program, something, whether it's from a journal. You have got to reach out and get the help that you need. It is not coming automatic for you because you were never taught how to do this. And yes, you are taught how to be in healthy relationships. You are. Whether you teach yourself by trial and error, or you're taught by observing, seeing those relationships up close and personal, or you're taught because you're told directly. Those are ways in which we learn about relationships. What we do and don't want, like and don't like, that's how we're taught. And when you don't have someone to teach you verbally, you don't have someone, maybe you've been in a relationship and you know what you don't want, but you can't figure out how to get what you do want. That's when you start reaching out to people that can actually help you. Sometimes it might be a good girlfriend that's been through something before. Maybe you can learn vicariously through them. And sometimes you need a professional. Okay, you need somebody that can help you with this. And I want to help you with this if I can. Okay, so there are plenty of ways that you can work with me. We talked about it already. The podcast, certainly a wealth of information, so many episodes for you to listen to, binge listen, and get in where you fit in, see what resonates with you. Join the Facebook group, fyrcommunity.com. I post questions every week. The podcast episodes, I'll alert you when those are coming. If there are programs and services that we're launching, the email list is another free resource where you'll know about those things first. And then also one-on-one coaching. And if you are someone who you're not sure about the group, but you are committed to getting some work done and you want to work at your own pace, a little bit slower, but you are interested, but need a little help. The One Within 30-Day Reset is a great place to start. It is in a way self-paced because you're getting daily journal prompts from me. I'm giving you videos to help shepherd you through the process. And you do have some touch points. You have a private Facebook community. You have the monthly coaching calls. You have access to getting into one-on-one coaching if you want that. There's so much out here that I'm providing for you if you are ready and if this is what you want. But please know, you did not come from your parent. You came from God. And because you came from God, you got to understand that He wants more for you and He wants more for your relationships. Okay? That's all I'm going to say today. I meant to be on here 5 minutes, but here we are at 30. I mean, you know me. And literally, I had 3 sentences on my piece of paper. But you get what you paid for. You get what you came for, okay? I hope this message reaches you in the spirit in which I know that God wants you to have it. And I hope that you heard what I said. I hope you heard what He said. Okay. And if it does resonate with you, I invite you to come back to Fix Your Relationships podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tiff. I thank you so much for tuning in with me this week, for rocking with me. And I hope to see you again next week. Ciao. Hey, babe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My goal with this podcast is to bless you with information that helps you fix those relationships that are most important to you, but not before you do the self-work needed to make sure that those relationships thrive. If this episode was exactly what you needed, then guess what? Somebody else probably needs it too. So do me and them a favor. Please share this episode with your good girlfriend and let her know about the podcast. And while you're at it, hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. This really helps to grow the podcast and puts it right in front of other women who are desperate to work on their relationships and themselves. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to join our community of like-minded women all on a journey to become the one. You can sign up for free at becometheone.myflowdesk.com/email. I know that's a lot, so just go on over to the show notes and click that link there. Thanks again for listening to Fix Your Relationships with Dr. Tiff. I'll see you right back here next week.